Packing for camp is what you make of it. It can be stressful, but if you just like make a list of what you know you need to take and just stick to it, then it's fine.
Packing for camp. In my first year, I found it quite stressful because I had a look at the kids' packing list and realised that they tell the kids to bring hundreds of t-shirts. So I definitely packed for about 2 weeks worth of clothes and realised when I got to camp that first year that I had way too much stuff.
I think I found packing for camp a little bit stressful because camp gave me a list of everything that I needed to bring, and I felt like I had to hit everything perfectly that they had asked for. Like I remember they asked us to bring a white shirt and I was like, oh my God, I don't have a white shirt, but they just meant like a t-shirt or a singlet or whatever it was.
I just went and got all the basics. So just, shorts, t-shirts, strappy tops, baggy trousers, things like that. I had very few kind of nice clothes because I knew that I was just probably going to be rolling around in dirt or getting wet or, So I just packed all the basics and just made sure that I had enough for the summer. Basically, I just filled my bag. I made sure that there was no space left at all. I think I overpacked.
So I absolutely overpacked for camp. I was 5 kilograms over the limit for taking a bag on a plane. So I did get left with a hefty fee.
My first year, my bag was very severely overweight. Luckily, didn't get charged extra for it, but I could have.
I am such an overpacker, and so I had no idea how much to bring, whether it was enough. I brought like 30 pairs of socks in my first summer. Definitely did not need that. In my second summer, I brought about 15. And that was so much better.
I'm a chronic overpacker, so I definitely pack too much. But you do go through things quite quickly, and it is important, I think, to have the stuff that you feel comfortable in and that makes you feel at home.
Even though I didn't pack that many nice things, I barely wore them. So I had one nice outfit because I knew that we would be having prom at camp. So I made sure that I definitely had something for that. But yeah, I think I overpacked because, to be honest, once I was there, I just recycled the same stuff, and we had laundry on site, so it's not like I needed to make sure that I had something clean for every single day that I was at camp. We had laundry facilities.
I definitely recommend that you don't overpack like I did my first year, and get anything you need at Walmart.
Don't bring anything important because it can get lost in the washing. Not can, it will.
One thing I wish I brought to camp with me is an extension cord. I didn't bring this when I went, but loads of people do recommend to bring it just so you can plug it in and then charge all your devices at once.
I wish that I brought a mirror with me to camp because my bunk had one mirror for 20 girls, and so getting ready was always really stressful, trying to shove people out of the way. So definitely something to just get ready in front of in my own area, and that would be great.
Something I did wish that I brought to camp in my first year was like a blanket or even just a bigger bath towel. I used all the linen and towels that were supplied by camp and realised I wanted something from home. So I would recommend bringing some sort of comfort from home.
One thing that I wish I brought to camp with me would be a photo album of like me and my friends, like things that I've done in the past, just to like go back on, if I am missing home, I can look through, think of good memories, and just like go through all of that. If people asked about that, you could be like, these are my friends back from home.
I think I wish I bought more activewear. I feel like I thought I would be dressed nicer a lot of the time and definitely didn't have enough activewear and had to buy that a lot throughout. And the other thing I wish I bought were Crocs. I definitely hated on Crocs while I was at camp, but now I regret it because that was the chance to wear Crocs.
They are worth the hype, I will tell you. And I've had them... I don't think I had them in my second summer, actually. Everyone's going to tell you to buy Crocs. Especially if you're coming for like multiple summers, like they may look ugly as sin, but they are very comfortable and very convenient for getting around camp.
One thing that I wish I brought to camp, which is really, it's not important, was English tea bags. I'm a huge tea drinker and it just wasn't a thing when I was at camp. Loads of coffee. Coffee was available, like it was coming out your ears, but I don't drink coffee. So caffeine hit wise, I really needed some tea bags. In the end, I think my mum sent me a package to camp with some tea bags in, but I wish that I had them when I arrived.
tips and tricks for packing, I would definitely say, you know, don't be afraid to ask camp any questions in regards to anything that you might need to bring for camp. You know, if you are worrying about bringing like any bedding or any sort of certain items that's personalised to use, I'd say definitely don't be afraid to ask camp.
Packing cubes. I'd recommend packing cubes to everyone. Had one for my socks, one for my underwear, one for my t-shirts, everything's all in order. It also means when you're travelling, you can easily grab what you want.
When bringing stuff back, because you normally accumulate so much stuff at camp, it does help to just keep everything organised and in place.
My tip for packing is definitely don't overpack. Anything you may forget, just get it from Walmart. Amazon delivers.
I usually create lists as things jump into my head and just pop them in the notes app on my phone to make sure that all those random little things that you think of, you do remember to actually bring them.
Or have a backup pair of sunglasses. Depending on what job you're doing, I was waterfront staff, and the amount of times that my sunglasses fell overboard because I was doing something, but I always had a spare pair. Just cheap and cheerful sunglasses. Don't take your Ray-Bans or anything too expensive because most likely they will get lost.
My unusual thing I brought to camp was an Aussie Rules football. Still at camp because I couldn't deflate it, so I couldn't bring it home. Footy's somewhere on camp.
One unusual thing I took to camp with me was one of my teddies. This sounds really weird, but it's so nice to sometimes have like a comfort thing from back home, and it really does help with homesickness.
An unusual thing that I took to camp with me is my childhood teddy bear. Because he just reminds me of home, and he comes everywhere with me, and he always has done.
I love having a tea every night, so I brought tea bags with me just to have like a little taste of home. Also, the kids found it so weird that it was such a big thing in British culture, and so I gave them tea bags for them to try at dinner time, which was quite cute. They did like them. Who doesn't like tea? But they just found it so weird that it's like English breakfast tea. They just don't really have that at camp.
My first year, I brought something a little bit weird to camp. I did bring Tim Tams to share with people, but then realised that the weather's quite hot and they melted everywhere. So I definitely don't recommend bringing chocolates and things from home unless you're going to eat it straight away.
Bringing Percy Pigs from M&S to America. It's something that, because they don't get it in America, you know, finding out that there's a new different type of sweets, like American kids would definitely go crazy for it. So if you do need them to do something, you know, you're like, oh guys, like if you could pack up a little bit quicker, or whoever's got like the cleanest bed, or, you know, has packed all their stuff away, I'll give you like a Percy Pig or something. They would just love it. So yeah, that was probably quite an unusual item, but it worked out really well in the long run. So yeah. We love prying the kids.
I took a suitcase with me to go under the plane with just clothes and stuff that I didn't need while I was in the airport, and then I took a backpack with me with like my laptop and my phone, and just like drinks and stuff for in the airport to take onto the plane with me.
Suitcase, always suitcase. You fit more in it, it's easier to roll. I also don't have the strength for a backpack, and it would be too stressful.
I just found it so much easier to wheel my suitcase across rather than just carrying a big bag on my shoulders.
I took a giant rucksack. For me, I've always found that that's easier, especially if you're doing a kind of trip where you're quite on the go. And because I knew I did want to do a bit of travel afterwards, for me, I just thought that was easier, that I could just pick something up, sling it on my back.
So I brought a backpack to camp mainly because of traveling. I wanted to make sure that it was really easy for me to get around traveling in case there's any like long walks, nice and easy to store away. And I thought that would be easier to carry around rather than like lugging a suitcase.
Because there were times where I was trekking across Manhattan, and it was so much easier doing it with a rucksack as opposed to a suitcase.
The only issue with that was when you were trying to find clothes in your backpack, sometimes it would be stuffed all the way down to the bottom. So if that's something that doesn't bother you, I would massively recommend that.
But all the counsellors I worked with, it was a total mix. Some people had giant suitcases, some people had two little ones. It's entirely what you feel more comfortable with.